Alright. I'm going to explain the McKenna-McLean controversy in the best possible way I can without worrying about whether I got labeled as a schizophrenic, psychopath, where the hell. I'm going to put this in the best possible terms I can without coming off as a crazy person, without actually being too spiritual for my own good, without being legitimately anti-logical, anti-rational, or wrong kind of free thought kind of thing. But like, wherever this goes for the internet or real life is concerned, I'm going for this. Okay. Remember the last video I made with this exact same thumbnail? The National Treasure of Purity, the Busting Tail McKenna McLean? That got over 170 views at the time of it uploading, 5 months after the fact especially. Well, it got 50 views at first, and then it got 170 after everything blew over. So, with that video in mind, with Grayson's post kept intact, and with everyone else I banned from PEI and from her previous audience, and Grayson I kept intact for other reasons. That's centered around an email I got from Proton Mail from a individual that does not no longer has an email anymore. I thought it was from the Fed. I actually thought it was from the Fed, but as a result of trying to get along with Cataclysm from Margaret Maggie, the Final Fantasy woman from the Air Force, who does a lot of videos about gaming and her stories from the Air Force and just a lot of gaming in general to cope with her anxiety from being in the Air Force. So at the time, I thought that I was going to manifest Margaret the same way I manifested McKenna. And the mistake I made was trying to be with someone in the Air Force in the first place, which is controversial in its own light. But more than that, my controversy is choosing McKenna over Margaret at the time. Let alone McKenna over Anya Matusovic. And let alone McKenna over everyone else I matter. I chose McKenna over any other motherly counterpart I wanted to help raise with her. Whether I was seen as the same person or not. And the idea of it being only about McKenna didn't make sense at the time. Nor did it make sense to make it only about me. I am glad that I got to be McKenna's godfather. Okay? McKenna, I am very proud of you for how far you come as a person. Even though I didn't get to see as much more of your teenage years as I could have by this point in my life, I'm proud of you, McKenna. As your actual godfather, I am proud of you. It couldn't just be Liam or Andrea or your Hispanic guardian parents who are not necessarily always on your best behavior or your best interests of heart, which is the weirdest way to put that in perspective for any narcissist boomer to say at this point. That we all know the beams, right? So, McKenna, I actually love being your father. It brings me no better joy to know that I created the Christopher Comes of freaking time travel because of people like you, Tristen and Grayson. You kids are extraordinary. I love you guys. I love all you guys. Yeah, it's weird for a 20-year-old to say that's a bunch of teenagers, but it's true. I love you kids. If I didn't love any kids, I wouldn't even be a parent right now. I wouldn't be McLean's parent particularly. The last thing I'm going to get off my chest in the last 4 minutes of this is I will still be a cartoonist, a claymation animator. I will still work at a food and drink environment, whether it's Kroger in the Heights Boulevard area or in the suburbs of Willowbrook of Spring, Texas, okay? I want to go back to Burn, Texas. I want to go back to Georgetown, Texas. I want to see my dad again in Junction, Texas. I want to travel to Canada for both Maggie and Nora and John Ross and McKenna McLean. Okay? Driver, sail, or fly. Even as a sailor. McKenna, I love you. Very, very deeply. Not as a fucking pedo that people keep saying I am. As your father, and I love you as a father.